Hey, sixth graders, here to talk to you today about how to hold your trumpet. So by this point we already would have spoken a little bit about posture and breathing and parts of your trumpet. So I want to start off first with the parts of your trumpet that we're going to be talking about today as it relates to holding it. Alright? So first you have your mouthpiece, of course, goes into the mouthpiece receiver. You have the lead pipe, that's this long straight tube, connects down to the tuning slide. You have your three valves, and they're ordered closest to the mouthpiece, so this is first, second, and third. You have your pinky ring, we'll talk about that later. And then for each valve you have a slide. So you have your first valve slide, second valve slide, and then around the back you have your third valve slide. Alright, so we're going to start with the left hand, because the left hand is where we really hold the trumpet. It has a firm grip on it the whole time. So I want you to actually start with the back side of your trumpet. Okay, in your left hand, your palm is going to face down the flat side of the valves here. Now you notice that we have two hooks. Now not all of you may have these, but generally you're going to have a third valve ring for your finger to fit into, and some of you may or may not have a first valve ring, and that's not really that big of a deal. Alright? However, I'm going to go ahead and teach it like you do, and then you can modify it. We can modify it together in class if you don't. So my thumb goes through the first valve ring on this side. Now it's really important right now that I'm not putting it all the way through, because as I start to play, that thumb's going to come over and that might cause me issues later. So I'm only going to put it part way through. My palm is flat against this part right here. Now it depends how long your fingers are, how big your hand is. You might either want to put your middle finger into the ring over here, or what we call the ring finger, your fourth finger down, into that. I'm used to my ring finger, so that's what I'm going to place here. Now using just those two fingers, I actually have a pretty good grip on the horn right now, my thumb and my ring finger. Now what to do with the other remaining fingers, I have these three left, and these two together are going to go underneath the bell here, wrapped around the third valve. So if I put these two fingers back, these two fingers now go underneath, and I have a really firm grip using those four fingers. It's not going to go anywhere, it's very solid. And my pinky is going to go underneath the third valve slide, wrapped around the bottom of the valve here. So this is what my left hand looks like as I have the horn turned around. If your pinky hurts a little bit right now, that's okay. You can place your pinky kind of flat against the third valve slide. Now when I turn it over, you can see what it looks like. None of my fingers are coming over too far towards the valves. So this has a really firm grip. Now when I say firm, you don't want to hold it tight. You want to have everything nice and relaxed, but I know that the horn isn't going to go anywhere. Now let's talk about the right hand. So as I said earlier, you have first, second, and third valves. You have your pinky ring. But actually we're going to start with the thumb. So I want you to find the spot between your first two valves that's underneath the main tuning slide, or excuse me, the lead pipe. So I'm going to anchor my thumb by putting it underneath that little pipe between the first two valves. And this is where my thumb is going to hold up the right hand side of the trumpet. Okay? Then I'm going to place my pinky finger on top of the pinky ring. I'm not going to put it in there for reasons I'll talk about later. So it's going to sit right on top. And then just very lightly I'm going to place each of my next three fingers on each of the three valves. So now I have a nice little backwards letter C. If your hand looks like this, then you're placing the middle part of your fingers on the valves, and that's not good. Because what can happen over time is you're pushing the valve down at an angle, and that can cause issues for you later. And it can actually damage the trumpet a little bit on the inside. So you want to have a nice backwards letter C. So this is what a two-handed grip looks like on the trumpet. And this right hand should be really relaxed and able to move around, so that my finger motion on my right hand is straight up and down. I'm never pushing down at an angle where the valve can grind against the inside of the casing. So now we've gotten through the very beginning of it, and we talked about both hands as to how they hold the trumpet. So with your left hand, like I said, this is going to be a really firm grip, and I know that my trumpet's not going to go anywhere. You never want to hold your trumpet by just your right hand. It's just not that steady. So when I have both hands put together in the horn, as I've talked about, I'm now going to tell you just a little bit about how to bring the horn up to your face and the right angle that you want to have it at. But first, just a quick review of the things we've already talked about having to do with our posture. I want you to have your back off the back of the chair, so there's a space between you and the chair. So I'm sitting on the front half of my chair, and my feet have to be flat. If my feet aren't flat, that's usually going to allow my upper body to bend over and change posture and angle, and that's actually going to affect our breathing. So my feet are flat. I have this nice platform for which I can start playing the trumpet. Now that I have the horn held in both hands, the natural angle for the trumpet, you're going to have a nice little open angle between your elbows and your arms as it relates to your body, and it should be pretty symmetrical. So you can see that I'm holding it not off to one side. I'm not doing anything different than you would assume. It's going to be pretty natural for you. So I've got both hands on the horn, and I have this nice open, relaxed posture. As I bring it up towards my face, I'm not going to raise my shoulders. I'm not going to have my elbows naturally too far out or naturally too far in. It should be relaxed. Kind of think about a 45-degree angle. And this is all the way out, and this is all the way in. Somewhere in the middle feels really comfortable. And then we're going to talk a little bit more in the next couple of days about how to actually put the mouthpiece on your lips. But this is a really good start. So then you have the natural nice angle. Everything feels relaxed. I'm able to take a nice full breath, and we're going to have a really good year playing trumpet. Thanks a lot.